Formula One fans, and today is race day here at the COTA track in Austin, Texas, and we're looking forward to a great race. We're going to start the podcast this afternoon with a little bit of news, and that is that Logan Sargent, who is an American driver, is going to replace Nicholas Latifi at Williams next year. So Nicholas Latifi is out and Logan Williams is in. So we're just waiting for the start of the race. The cars are just coming through on the formation lap, and once the formation lap is complete, then we will start the race, and hopefully, like I said today, we're going to have a great race. We're going to have lots of excitement. The crowds here are crazy for a Formula One in the United States. You remember, it's only 10, 12 years ago that Indianapolis gave up the Formula One race because they couldn't get enough people to go to it. All that has changed. They expect a crowd of 400,000 here this weekend, and looking around the stands and looking around the course from our vantage point here up on turn 1, where there's a platform that we're standing on to kind of bring the start of the race to you. It looks like it is a sold-out venue. So anyway, the cars are lining up now to begin the race, and we're going to wait for the lights to change, and then we'll be off. And we are off, and I'm predicting that Max Verstappen, who is alongside Charles Leclerc, is going to, Carlos Sainz is going to make it a pass on the first corner here, and as they come up to the corner, in fact, Max Verstappen has edged out in front by about a car length over Carlos Sainz, and so something has happened. Carlos Sainz has been completely flipped around. He's got hit by somebody. It looks like it could be George Russell, but he has been completely flipped around, and now he is starting up and heading down the track. So he has gone from pole position to last position in all of about 15-20 seconds, which is not a good way for him to start the day, but that's racing. We're going to watch and see how he survives this, but it didn't look like that bad a spin. Just looks like he got nudged and got spun around. So we'll look and we'll wait to see coming in here on the next lap if we can see Carlos Sainz come through in the corner. As Verstappen comes down the track in the lead, and he is followed closely by Hamilton in the Mercedes, and then followed by none other than Lance Stroll. Lance Stroll, wow, that's crazy for him to be up there in third position at this stage of the race. And then, of course, behind Lance Stroll is Checo Perez and the rest of the field. So it's so where is the Leclerc? It looks like now as the cars come past us, there is no sign of Leclerc, and in fact, they have just pulled out a yellow flag and a safety car. So something has obviously happened to Sainz, and he is now probably not just gone to last position, but has dropped out of the race. And so we've got a safety car here for the next couple of laps, I'm sure. So we're now about into lap 14 of the race here, and the field is settling down. Verstappen, of course, is still in the lead, ahead of Hamilton and Leclerc, and then Hamilton, Stroll, and then Leclerc, and then followed by George Russell and Sergio Perez. So not a lot of changes going on right now, but I'm sure that here in the next few laps, because we're getting close to changing tires, and because they all started on the soft tire, then they're going to be changing tires to either medium or hard, depending if they've got a two-stop strategy or a one-stop strategy. Oh, and in fact, Lewis Hamilton is coming in here, and Max Verstappen went right on by. So it looks like they're trying to pull what they call the undercut here, and get the fresher tires ahead of Max Verstappen to give them some extra pace going forward. So it's going to be interesting to see if Max Verstappen on the next go-around gets pulled into the pits so that they can avoid a really big undercut and go on from there. And in fact, Max Verstappen is coming into the pit, so they'll go from the soft tire probably to the medium, I'm thinking, if they're thinking about a two-stop strategy, because the hard tires on this hot surface are going to take a lot longer to get the kind of grip that they need going forward in the rest of the race. So Verstappen now, his tires have changed and he's coming out of the pit, and it looks like that we have an incident over on the other side of the track after turn 9. Yes, Lance Stroll has, I don't know if he blocked Vettel or if Vettel just ran right up the back of him, but Lance Stroll's car has spun out and it's come apart, and so Lance Stroll is out of the race. There's no way they're getting that car put back together and get him back in the race. Now, Vettel has slammed up against the safety barriers, but it doesn't look like his car is that badly damaged. So look for Vettel to come in on the next, as he makes it around to the pits, get a new set of tires, and then keep going again. So that's lucky for Vettel, but it's going to be interesting to see as they come out and the race goes on, how much damage has been done to Vettel's car. So we're going through now and we're getting into laps 16 and 17, and the cars have settled back in again. Max Verstappen came out of the pits in 4th place after the tire change, and he is slowly making his way back up through the field. What we expect here is that he will get back, because the other teams are going to have to pit here in the next, especially those that started on the soft tires. They're going to have to pit here in the next, I would say, 2 to 3 laps. So by the end of lap 2021, all the cars should have pitted. So we're now into lap 2021, maybe 22 now, and all of the cars have pitted, and we're going through now. Everything's settled down. Max Verstappen now is moving back to the front of the race, and is now right behind Lewis Hamilton, and I expect that he will be overtaking Hamilton here in a little while. And now we have an incident in turn 11 or 12. It would be 12 or 13. We have an incident with Valtteri Bottas. Valtteri Bottas has lost it going through that curve, and he has spun, and he is now in the gravel. So Valtteri Bottas' day will be done as well. Once those cars hit that gravel, they bottom out. The tires can't get a grip to get them back on the track. So we'll come out with a yellow car here, and a yellow car will come out, and we'll be waiting for a couple of laps here for another yellow car. And of course, we had the yellow car incident with Lance Stroll and Vettel, but that was actually a little longer yellow car, because they had to, of course, pick up the pieces of Stroll's car off the track. It's sad for Lance Stroll, because he was having an amazing day. He was up in 4th place when that incident happened. As I mentioned earlier, he'd been as high as 3rd, and he was actually holding his 3rd position quite well through the first 8 to 10 laps there. So, like I said, I don't know if Vettel just ran into the back of him, or if Stroll went to block him, and that caused Vettel to run into the back of him. I'm sure we'll find out later, because the FIA will review the incident and, if necessary, penalize Lance Stroll. But of course, he's already been penalized. He's out of the race. So we're getting along nicely now into the race, and it's a thrill to be here. What can I tell you? Watching the race with all of the fans here, and being able to bring this podcast to you, not live, because we don't broadcast live, but certainly we're able to make all of the notes and look at all of our recordings instead of watching it on TV. We're getting to experience it live, and it's a very, very nice experience. So far through this race, we've got 3 cars out now. We've got Valtteri Bottas, we have Lance Stroll, and of course Carlos Sainz. And talking of Carlos Sainz, George Russell has been assessed a 5-second penalty for the incident that happened on turn 1 at the start of the race. So when Russell comes into the pit next time, they'll stop, and then they can't do anything. They can't touch the car. The team has to just stand there while an official counts off 5 seconds and then tells them to get going again. So that's quite a large penalty for George Russell in what's happened to him on turn 1. So we're up to lap 36, and the Mercedes team of Hamilton has come in again for tyres, and so we should expect to see Verstappen come in for tyres, and also the Ferrari team of Leclerc. So it looks like everybody's pretty much on a 2-stop strategy today, and so everybody will be coming in again for to get another set of medium tyres, and at lap 36 that should be enough to see them through the end of the race. And in fact, Hamilton is out, and Verstappen has come in, and oh no, Verstappen has an incident with the left front wheel. It looks like the left front wheel nut. They can't get it to tighten. There's an issue with the gun by the looks of it. So Verstappen is now, that's 8, 9, 10, 11 seconds, and he's finally back out and running again. That is, Leclerc has just pulled out ahead of him. Leclerc came in to make the stop, as I said as well, and now Leclerc is out ahead of Verstappen. So now Verstappen has dropped back into probably 4th or 5th place, maybe even a little lower than that, because his teammate Perez is up there, but I'm sure Perez will come in for tyres, and also, as strange as it may seem, Vettel is also up there with the leaders even after his incident. But remember, when the safety car comes out, all of these cars get pulled up all together, so whatever number of seconds the leader and the next one, their advantage pretty much disappears. So it's been a lucky day for Vettel, and so now Max Verstappen is coming out in 5th or 6th place. So he's got a lot of making up to do, and I'm sure, given the speed of that Red Bull car, he'll be able to catch up at least to Leclerc. Can he pass Leclerc? That is going to be the big question. So we'll keep watching here as the race goes on, and we'll certainly see when Verstappen gets up behind Leclerc, enables the DRS, which is the drag resistance system, which is a flap that opens up on the back spoiler of the car, and they use it down the straightaways, and that gives them about an extra 15 to 17 kilometers an hour. That would be somewhere around the 9, 10 to 12, 13, or 12, miles per hour, which is quite a significant amount. The Formula One cars of today can't draft each other like the Formula One cars of yesterday, because what they've done with those spoilers in the back of the car is they've created turbulent air. So when the car behind them gets up too close, it's getting sucked up in that turbulent air, and the brakes start to get hot, and all kinds of other things start to happen. So they end up having to drop back. So when they decide that they've got to pass, they've got to try and get past so they can get cleaner air, and that's where the DRS comes in to help them out. So we're on lap 44 now out of the 56 laps, and Verstappen has just passed Leclerc to take back the 3rd place. So now he's behind Hamilton and his teammate Perez. So Perez has not stopped for tyres yet, so we should look for that to happen in the next few minutes. So that should put Verstappen back in plenty of time to try and pass Hamilton, although there's quite a spread. There's about 7 or 8 seconds, and he's got less than 10 laps to make that up. So he's got to hope that he's got a lot of pace in that car, especially on the straightaways to make up that kind of time in such few laps. But we may be looking at a case here where Lewis Hamilton is going to win his first Formula One race of the year. Of course, if Lewis Hamilton wins and Leclerc, Verstappen rather, comes in second or third even, then that would mean that Red Bull would not be able to claim the Constructors' Championship at this race, which is what they were aiming to do. And with the FIA has just announced, in fact, that Lance Stroll was in fact to blame, and he's going to receive what we call a blocking penalty. That will probably mean that in the race coming up in Mexico City, that he's going to be moved back in the grid. So, you know, if he manages to qualify, say, in the top 5 or the top 10, then they're going to move him back X number of spots on the grid as a penalty for blocking in this race. Of course, blocking can get very dangerous. We saw his car literally kind of not fly into pieces, but it lost a wheel and lost some other parts of it. And it's also caused damage to Vettel's car. In fact, the last couple of laps, we've been watching the right-hand mirror on Vettel's car kind of flapping like it's going to fall off. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the Formula One officials pull Vettel in and have them rip that mirror off his car. But right now, that's where we are. It's Hamilton ahead of Verstappen and about 10 laps to go. So we're on lap 51 now, and Verstappen has closed the gap to within about 1.5 seconds of Lewis Hamilton. So I would expect that in 2, maybe 3 laps, that Verstappen will be challenging Hamilton for the lead, maybe even less than that. But at this stage, with the amount of time that he's made up over the last 6 laps, then there's no reason to see why that Verstappen will not, in fact, go ahead, pass Hamilton and win this race, which of course then would give Red Bull the championship for the constructors. So it's been a sad weekend for Red Bull. The founder of Red Bull died. He was 78 years old, died of cancer. But 78 is not a bad life, so you know he should be a very thankful guy for the life that he's lived. He was a Syrian guy that moved to Austria. He used to sell soft drinks, and then came up with the idea of creating the Red Bull drink with the help of a guy from Taiwan, I think it is. So let's get back to the race, because now we are actually watching Verstappen. He has now got the gap between him and Hamilton down to under 0.7 of a second. So on one of these next laps, and it could well be this one, Verstappen will take the lead back from Hamilton, because he's got that much extra speed on the straightaway than Hamilton has. And that of course is why he's caught up so quickly. But a really incredible display of driving from Verstappen. You know, after you lose, so say 9 seconds, right? Because we assume that the pit stop's going to take 2.5 seconds, and he was in there for 11 seconds. That means he actually lost a 9-second chunk of time, which in these cars and these races, that is huge. So the fact that he has been able to make up that significant amount of time here in the last 10 to 12 laps just really goes to 2 things, really. What an incredible car he has, and also what an incredible driver he has. So if he wins this race, which we're very much expecting now, then, oh, wait a minute, so we're coming up on lap 54, and George Russell has just pitted. So Russell will be pitting so that Mercedes can get out there. He'll have gone onto a soft set of tires, and he'll be going for the fastest lap. Right now, the fastest lap has been held by Verstappen here for the last probably 6 to 8 laps, as he's gone through the process of catching up Lewis Hamilton. But we're going to see that George Russell is going to get the fastest lap. He's on a soft set of tires, so he'll do 1 lap to warm those tires up, and then the last lap he will snatch the fastest lap, which will take 1 point away from Max Verstappen, which at this point he doesn't care. He's already the world champion. So what he cares about today, he is going to become only the third driver to win 13 Formula One races in a season. I remember the day when we only had, 8, 9 Formula One races total in a season. So the fact now that these drivers can win so many races in a year is testament to how the sport has grown. Just come to Austin, Texas next year if you want, and this place today is a testament to how this sport has grown over the years. It's just really, really incredible to what we're witnessing. And like I said, when Indianapolis dropped out, and what we're witnessing here today is just incredible. And Max Verstappen is now on the final lap of the race, so he is actually pulling away from Lewis Hamilton right now, and probably will have a good 3 to 4 second lead on him by the time they come around and take the checkered flag. So it's been an incredible experience being here at the Coda track this weekend, and there's lots of things that we're going to tell you about in the coming weeks, and pictures and stuff like that we're going to share with you and put on our website and on our Instagram site, and you can see them on Twitter. Of course, at Twitter we are at F1NH F1. So please follow us on Twitter, and on Instagram we are F1NH as well. So. And now we're seeing that as the Verstappen is coming down through turn 19, which leads into a straightaway, and he'll come down to turn 20, which he is just doing right now, and he is going to turn through turn 20, and we've got Tim Cook, the head of Apple, who is going to wave the checkered flag for us today. So it's been a great day here. It's been a great weekend, and like I said, coming up we're going to be able to bring you more pictures and more stories and things like that. We have some interesting stories to tell you about here coming up, and most of it being a really, really positive experience here for us. We did bump into a not so polite British photographer, which we'll tell you about maybe next week. But right now, we just want to focus on the great event that we've had here today. And while we're talking about a great event here today, of course, we don't want to forget our sponsors. And the best way to introduce our next sponsor is to tell you where the race is next week. And the race is coming directly from Mexico City, and that brings us into our sponsor, El American. El American is a dual language TV station that broadcasts out of Miami, and when I say dual language, they broadcast simultaneously in English and Spanish. And so for all of the Spanish viewers, it's a great platform to watch. And of course, for the English-speaking folks, it's also great because they really talk about the news and report the news. There's no opinions on El American. It is all just news, great news. So please go to elamerican.com. That is elamerican.com, and I'm sure that they're going to have highlights of the race going through the following week. That I know the owners, and they are great Formula One fans. So please go to elamerican.com.